Welcome into the BSN Broncos weekly breakdown presented by Green Mountain Dental Group.
Our friends at Green Mountain Dental Group are offering free Vivera retainers to keep your smile perfect. Just mention BSN and you will get this amazing custom-made up to $500 system for free. Just mention BSN.
I'm Allie Monroy, and alongside me is BSN Broncos beat writer Ryan Koenigsberg. Now, the biggest news of the week was, of course, the Broncos trading beloved wide receiver Demaryius Thomas to the Houston Texans. Ryan, what kind of impact is that going to have in the locker room and in the game this week?
Well, yeah, it's odd to have to trade a guy and then have him come in and play just a few days later. But let's start in the locker room. Obviously, he's a guy who is loved not just by the fans but by his teammates. Such a great teammate, a real veteran presence who really poured all of his knowledge out to guys like Deshaun Hamilton and Courtland Sutton, and in the end allowed them to take his job. He's very respected in there, so he's going to be missed a lot by not just Von Miller, who's cried like 27 times thinking about it, or Chris Harris Jr. or Emmanuel Sanders, but really everyone was in there. I mean, heck, we've got a banner of him over here, and apparently the Broncos are going to turn that into kind of a thank you banner, which I think is really cool. But it is going to impact the locker room. You know, it is a veteran being traded away. It does send a bit of a signal in there. And then the game, it'll be really interesting. The Texans are certainly going to want to give DT a chance to make some big plays against his former team. With that being said, he's not going to have the whole offense down by any means at that point, but they'll have some stuff in there, and he's familiar with a lot of the terminology they use. So it could have an impact on the game on Sunday.
Well, of course, the Broncos play the Texans. What are a few things you'll be watching for in that matchup?
First of all is Deshaun Watson. You know, the Broncos have had a lot of matchups with these quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, where, yeah, of course you want to rush the passer, and, you know, you have Bradley Chubb and Von Miller who do it so well, but you also don't want to let them get off script because that's where these guys are at their best. So I want to see how they can kind of wrangle in Deshaun Watson. And the other thing is the Broncos' running game. The Texans, if there is a weakness in the defense, it's maybe deep in the secondary, but also in the middle of their defensive line where you can run the ball a little bit on them. Phillip Lindsay's been so great this season. I think if they can get a run game going up the middle, they have a chance to have success on offense.
Bill Musgrave was very passionate about the run game this week.
Yes, he was. Best press conference I've ever seen from him by far.
All right, well, with that, do you expect any player to break out this game?
It's kind of obvious and easy pick here, but I think Courtland Sutton is really going to have a great game. All of a sudden, all the chips are in front of him, and the Broncos are saying, "Hey, you're our guy going forward." He's going to want to go out there and prove why he is, and not only him, but the play calling and Bill Musgrave and the rest of those guys. They're going to want to show the home crowd here that Courtland Sutton has that it factor, that he's going to be able to put up a big game. So I'm watching for Courtland Sutton to have a couple touchdowns, a couple big plays.
Score prediction?
Taking the Broncos. A lot of people probably aren't. I think they actually have a really good chance in this one. It's the easiest home game they've had in a while, and I think they take care of business. Score prediction, I'm going to say 27-24.
All right, well, Ryan, of course, will be at the game, same with Zach Stevens, so be sure to follow them on Twitter and follow all of our coverage on bsndenver.com. For Ryan Koenigsberg, I'm Allie Monroy, BSN Denver.